What is going on, guys? It is Trifecta J here, back with episode 9 of the Eastern Washington Dynasty. We're finally through all of season 1, and in today's episode we will be moving forward into the offseason and into season 2. So a quick recap of our schedule. We got our first win on the season against San Jose State and ended the year with 5 victories. It was a tough year, not a lot of talent though on this team, and we will be losing our best player, so it could be interesting to watch this team, really how they perform in year 2. You can see the 5-24 record. Now a look at the stats, I should say, and you can see all the players who started a game. There are only 5 of them, and they started every single one of them. Our leading rebounder was Robbie Ellis. Obviously, our leading scorer was Jerron Dunbar, and then Robbie Ellis and Hunter Campbell each had around a block per game. You can see 642 points on the season for Jerron Dunbar, an outstanding season, shooting 47%, 40% from 3 on high volume amounts of shots. So really just was an outstanding player for us, and you could make the argument maybe one of the best players in the country. But the Big Sky tournament, we're not in it, but we do see the championship game. Montana does win. Idaho State was upset there, by far the best team in the Big Sky, and they do not end up making the NCAA tournament. The coach of the year does go to Idaho State's coach. They went 21-9. Tracy Stuckey was your defensive player of the year, and Chance Renfro actually wins freshman of the year. We'll move forward to Selection Sunday. You can see some of the teams that are on the bubble. You can see Kansas is actually undefeated so far on the season, 32-0. They're the number 1 overall seed. Villanova, Michigan State are 2 of the number 1 seeds, along with Kentucky. And we'll get a look at how this tournament ended up playing out. Duke was a 2 seed, and 7 teams from the ACC and Big East. A little more information there. But we'll look at how it ended up. Kansas made it to the Elite 8 before losing to Texas. Tennessee made the Final 4, and then Kentucky made it out of the East region. But then in the South, Villanova actually lost to 16 seed Tennessee Tech. Absolutely crazy. Another 16 seed wins. And then in the national championship game, it is Texas in blowout fashion. 27 points from their center and point guard. And now we look at the Big Sky All-Conference team. No one represented on the first or second team, which is sort of crazy to me that Jerron Dunbar didn't make it. But then on the all-freshman team, we do get 3 players, and Isaiah Kane, Chance Renfro, and Xavier Smith. We move forward into the actual portion of the offseason. We can see we have 7 players committed right now. Otis Wilkin, the highest rated, along with Leon Postel. We'll end up signing all of these guys. We really wanted to get a ton of bodies in. We had 7 spots open, so a lot of opportunities to sign players. You can see Robbie Ellis and Jerron Dunbar are graduating, and then all Big Sky freshmen. Isaiah Kane does want to transfer and go somewhere else. We would put all we had into trying to keep him. I thought he could end up being a good big man for us, but he does end up transferring. Luckily, there is an off-season portion of recruiting where we're looking at getting some big men. Anthony Lawrence, a 6'11 center. Then Cameron Weathers, a 6'8 power forward. He was a guy who looks to have some upside as a defensive player and could end up being a good rebounder after a lot of development, and definitely will end up redshirting. Was all state in New Mexico, and he was the guy that we ended up actually signing. You can see the players that we redshirted: Cameron Weathers, Richard Terry, the point guard, and Brian Sothy, the power forward. They will all redshirt, all freshmen, and weren't really going to play very much, so we'll have 12 active guys. You can see we're projected to finish 6th in the Big Sky, and I like that. I feel like we're going to be a better team next year and win more games. You can see 2 scholarships available, so not that big of a recruiting class this year. And just overall, this team lost its best player, so we'll have to try and adapt. And then one portion of the offseason, I wanted to schedule some higher conference opponents, especially in-state teams like Washington State, or Gonzaga, and they just would not schedule us. No one really in the Power 5 for the most part would. We really tried, and only ended up getting a couple after really basically asking everyone if they would play us, and none of them would. Just said that we basically weren't good enough. The training portion, and we'll have an even split pretty much between the starters and reserves on where they get their points. You can see 15 players on the team, 2 scholarships, so 2 seniors. A look at the recruiting board. Only 2 guys will be able to bring in, so not a lot of guys were overall interested. We'll have to really sort through all these people and find the best overall players. We're not looking for a certain position, I wouldn't say. We're pretty filled out there and just looking to get the best player overall. We will open the season though at USC. We'll play at Marquette, a game against North Dakota State, which could be fun. And overall, then we get into conference play. USC was mainly and Marquette were the teams that I was able to schedule in the upper echelon conferences. A look at our rotation. This isn't really set in stone, but you can see we'll be running a 3-guard lineup with Otis Wilkins and Tyson Jarrett, 2 of the freshman guards, and then Cameron Tyson basically playing on the wing as well. Leon Postel would be our starting big man along with Hunter Campbell. We'll now go through all these freshmen. There are 8 of them on the roster, and Tyson Jarrett is an excellent shooter. He's a guy I could really feel like could develop into a great offensive performer and could at least in his freshman year make up a little bit of the slack that we lost from Jerron Dunbar, along with Cameron Tyson hopefully stepping up. Otis Wilkins will be our point guard. He's not the greatest athlete. He's actually a pretty bad athlete, but could develop as a shooter and as a passer. Leon Booker to me is a stretch 4 or a big man. He's 6'10 at the power forward or small forward position actually, only 195 pounds. Derek Riggs 6'11, only 222 pounds. He is a guy I feel like could really develop into a great defender and a decent enough rebounder. Richard Terry, one of the guys that were redshirting, he's another guy I feel like he's not a great athlete, but could develop as a good shooter and a good backup point guard moving forward. Cameron Weathers, the last addition to our recruiting class, he's got a pretty decent shot blocking rating, and I feel like that's where his highest potential will come from as a big man off the bench who can provide a defensive presence. Brian Sathi, when I looked at his recruiting profile, I thought he might be able to be a stretch 4. He has the range for it, but just not necessarily the ratings right now. A little recap of season 1, and then our recruiting challenge. So they want to sign a 2-star recruit, a C- outside game, and then a limited potential recruit. But now we will move into a little Midnight Madness basketball, get a chance to see these freshmen. We'll see 4 of them, I believe, in this game. So on the white team, we have Xavier Smith, Chance Renfro, Tyson Jarrett, Leon Booker, and Derek Riggs. A good shot there by Tyson Jarrett. Then on the red team, it's Otis Wilkins, Cameron Tyson, Trevon Allen, Hunter Campbell, and Leon Postel. So a good mix of starters and bench players on each side and freshmen on each side as well. It'll be Renfro with the ball. He passes it inside and Riggs knocks it down on the and one. I feel like as the season moves along, we're going to have to really figure out how many minutes these guys should be playing and who should be starting. Nothing's set in stone. I feel pretty solid about our starting guards at least. I feel like that may stay consistent. If Chance Renfro continues or does pick up his game, though, he can maybe work his way into the starting lineup. It'll be the white team with the ball. Chance Renfro has it. He'll go down low to Booker, and he doesn't get it to fall, but Riggs has it, and he will score it, and it's a 10-5 lead. Now down low into the post. A shot is no good, but Postel has it, and he goes back up and scores it. 10-7 ball game. Riggs has it down low. Pass to Jarrett. He'll shoot, and he knocks it down from the free throw line. He's already an outstanding shooter, has the ability to score inside. I feel like his biggest limiting factor is he's a poor athlete. A lot of these guys that we recruited were, we just didn't have the ability to sign guys who were great athletes. We had to go for people who actually had some skill instead. But there's a great finish by the guard Cameron Tyson. Now down low, a block by Derek Riggs, but Tyson recovers it, and he takes it in for the layup, and the and one. Chance Renfro called for the foul. Wilkins has the ball. He'll go down low, and it'll be Postel who scores. He is great, had great inside game for a freshman coming in, and is a pretty good rebounder, so he will be the starting center. Him and Riggs will fight throughout the year, though, for that spot. There's a tough contested finish for Chance Renfro. If he could develop more of a driving game, then our guards could be very deadly in this year. So now Xavier Smith has it. He'll take it inside. He'll be a guy who'll still get some minutes this year, maybe not as many as last year, but it'll be a 3-point lead now. Cameron Tyson has the ball. Great cut by Otis Wilkins, who does finish, and that cuts it to a 1-point lead. So Jarrett has it. He'll drive it inside. A great screen, and you can just see he's a very smooth athlete when he runs with the ball. Now he'll push the break, and he'll just pull up, no one stops ball, and he knocks down the 3, and it's a 6-point lead. The lead is down to 4. They'll go down low, and Campbell knocks down, actually that's Postell who knocks it down. Jarrett has the ball once more. He looks for the screen. He'll go down low to Booker. He goes high off the glass and gets it to fall. I'm excited to see Leon Booker develop. He is 6'10" and is a decent enough athlete for that size. I feel like he could develop a little bit of a perimeter game and it'd be a great stretch for moving forward. Not necessarily knocking down a lot of three-pointers, but maybe knocking down some mid-range jumpers. There's a three-pointer for Tyson Jarrett. He's a guy who has unlimited range, and I've talked about him a lot. I'm really excited to watch him play. There's Cameron Tyson, though, a fadeaway 3, and he could really be the leader of this team in year 2. He is the senior guard for us. So now Xavier Smith takes it inside, and the tough contested finish falls. And that will do it for the Midnight Madness. It is a 12-point win for the white team that featured only, I guess, one starter in Tyson Jarrett, but definitely some great players and 3 of the freshmen. So it was good to see these players really take the court and see what they can do for the first time. 18 points for Tyson Jarrett, 10 for Riggs, who actually had 5 blocks as well, 6 rebounds for Leon Postell, and 5 for Hunter Campbell.